Gates, August 1st, 2025. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts on today's new episode down below. What did y'all think? Did y'all like it? Um, the promo for next week's episode. I forgot to talk about that in my Tea Talk short. Haley gonna be bleeding allegedly. Allegedly. I said, where are they? It said, what's the name of that place? Is it Uptown? It said Uptown or somewhere else. But either way to go, she bleeding and stuff like that. And Danny trying to help her. She talking about to stay away from her. I said, girl, please. Now I'm assuming she finna get ready to blame her and say that she caused her to have a miscarriage. Bill finna be highly upset. Bill is finna be highly upset, y'all. Hold on. I said, Bill finna be mad in the mug next week. Hey, how you doing? What did you think of the episode? Look, what I tell y'all. I told y'all if y'all been listening. I said Carter want Nicole. I said your friend want your wife. And what he doing? Asking her out on a date. I said, I told y'all. I knew. I called. He over here. He was too comfortable. He was way too comfortable. He was way too comfortable flirting and talking about her, and he was doing too much. He was doing way too much. I called it. But yeah. So we're gonna talk about this episode. Where we're gonna start? Sharon, Anita, Tracy. I guess I'm gonna just do a little rundown of everything that happened. Ted's so-called friend, Carlton, going after Nicole. He over here asking Martin how she doing. Then talking about some doggone, I really let Ted have it. And Andre heard everything. I said, go tell your uncle right now. I said, go tell him right now. But yeah, they supposed to be sitting at the table on next week's episode. And he's supposed to be asking her out on a date. Ted's supposed to walk up. And I think he's trying to talk to her or something like that. I said, First, you need to steal off. First, you need to handle your friend. But then again, I was like, isn't he his business partner? Or do they just work together? I don't know. I forgot. Either way it go, I said, I called it. I knew what he was up to. I knew it. I said, if y'all watch Tyler Perry's Divorce Sister, y'all see that apparently this his thing. I said, he over here trying to take Geneva up on Divorce Sister. Now he trying to take Nicole on Beyond the Gates. Hold on. But yeah, Sharon, Anita, Tracy. I'm gonna just do a rundown because after they start, getting together for the concert and stuff, I start taking notes. So I'm gonna just tell y'all what I took so far. So Sharon ends up saying that she can't perform. Y'all know yesterday I was saying it looked like she was having an anxiety. Excuse me, anxiety. Lord have mercy, a panic attack. A panic attack. But yeah, she was just nervous and everything. Anita was looking at. Yeah, I was like, girl, you working that dress, girl. But yeah, she was saying how she can't perform, she'll make a fool of herself, but they end up encouraging her, and she ends up performing anyway. Spoiler alert. Leslie wants to go to the concert. He was like they could just stay at the house and listen to the music and stuff like that. Why she left her purse there? And this lady done went through her purse and found the ticket from Ted. And she took it. She took the ticket. I said, Eva, you gonna have to find out the hard way what your mama is and who she is and what she about. She done took the ticket. She done went got her a dress. I was like, where'd she get that dress from? Where did she get that dress from? She made a comment when they got to the concert or whatever. What did she say, y'all? But aside from that, I already said Leslie went through Eva's purse and she found the ticket and she ends up taking it. Anita ends up giving Tracy and Sharon a bracelet. Shanice ends up talking to Ashley about Andre, inviting her to the concert. She ends up saying how Derek can't stop talking about Ashley, and she was like, she basically getting tired of it. And this fool over here trying to beg Ashley back, and then she got offended to myself. You the one broke up with me or whatever. I understand if you want what you want. If he want to get married and you don't, y'all need to break up. But then she over here acting like she just somebody victim and innocent and stuff when she knows she wanted Andre from the jump. That's my whole thing. You knew you wanted Andre. Then Derek over here, I was like, don't nobody want to see them right now. I said, we not focused on that right now. Come on now, go back to the concert. They over here talking about the same thing. He over here talking about he missed her and begging her back. And he admitted that he was using his friendship with Shanice to make her jealous. And he was like, he was waiting on her to say that she was using Andre to make him jealous. And I was like, ain't no way she could say that, because she want him. She's still in denial. Exactly. She in denial at this point. But they supposed to be kissing on next week's episode, y'all. I said, well. And he telling her, Andre's supposed to be telling Ashley that he wants something real or whatever. I said, Danny, you lost him. You lost him, girl. He's gone. He's a goner. Hold on. Well, yeah, let me get back to the notes. Let me see. I said Anita gives Tracy and Sharon a bracelet. Shanice talks to Ashley about Andre inviting her to the concert. Said Derek can't stop talking about her and it's getting old. Vanessa wanted Doug to go to the concert, but he don't want to fake it. He was saying how he doesn't want to put on a fake smile or whatever. Kat wanted to know what's going on with Martin. She ends up telling Martin that she's there for him or whatever. And I think did he say he was going to explain everything later? I don't know. But yeah, Kat ends up asking Vernon if all the marriages in their family breaking up. I said, look like it. And based on the conversation Smitty was having with Naomi, Jacob may just be mad that she keeping it secret from him. I said, so they just gonna make everybody on the show break up? Everybody on the show broke up at this point, or about to break up. Let me see. Where I stop at? Let's see. Doug said he tired of pretending. Vanessa was saying how he doesn't get to play Victor because they in that situation because of him. And she was she victim blaming. That's what she was doing. She victim blaming in a sense. In a sense. Now he was gambling and stuff and caused all this crap. Wait, I take the back. Not all the crap. But y'all know what I'm trying to say. And she over here like she doing what she doing because she trying to help them, and you trying to sleep with that man because you in a mood and you got an addiction or something going on. You doing it all that. I did not say that how I wanted to say it. She over here, girl, he got a gambling addiction and you got a sleeping with everybody addiction. What the world? Trying to make it seem like it's just him. It's you too. Over here, I thought they was really gonna go with the storyline that she was pregnant. I really did, because she was laid up in the hospital on some random episode. I was like, look at you pregnant. Don't know who you pregnant by. But no, hold on. And then he beating around the bush. I said, no, you need to tell her you know that she's sleeping with this man that ain't you. I said, don't sit up here and hint at it. Tell her she know. Then she over here act like she don't care, acting like she sleeping with this man for their sake or whatever. Sometimes she can only do so much. I bet you can. I bet you could do a whole lot. I bet you could do a whole lot more, girl. Hold on. Yeah, she just over there telling him this load of baloney. I said, you know, doggone well you sleeping with him for your own benefit. Don't try to spin it. And he study hinting around. Don't tell her the truth. Tell her you know she's sleeping with Joey. What the world? But yeah, I didn't know what he was finna tell Shanice. He went over there to Shanice. I said, don't you start doing no stupid stuff too. I said, don't try to use her like Derek doing. I said, what's going on here? He went over there to Shanice and he just asked her, you know, if she had plans and stuff. And he was like, his wife got an extra ticket to the concert. So she ended up going, y'all. I said, I like when they get all dressed up and stuff. But yeah, what else happened? Eva ends up going into the office and warns Ted that her mama got the ticket. She should have hid it better. She was just blaming herself. He ends up giving her his ticket, and he was just saying, you got to stop blaming yourself for what your mama do. I said, right, but you finna blame yourself some more when she do some more crazy stuff, because she definitely finna do some more crazy stuff. Ain't no telling what she got planned. Excuse me. Vernon ends up giving a speech before they end up leaving to, you know, go to the concert and stuff. He also gives the ladies flowers. Danny and Andre end up kissing the good they did, because he kissing Ashley on next week's episode. And did she move him over there by her? I was like, Danny, you feel a little too late, girl. He's gone. He's a goner. He's gone over there with Ashley. Naomi ends up checking on Smitty, but he really don't want to deal with none of the priests. Look like to me. Hold on. I said, he really looked like he don't want to deal with none of them. But yeah, she was trying to check on him, and he realized that she knows everything. And he was like, you okay with keeping secrets from Jacob? I said, girl, you should have just stayed out of it. You should have stayed out of it. But yeah, now we get to the part that I've been waiting on. Carlton. This man just popped up out of nowhere. What you doing there? What is you over there for? But yeah, he just popped up out of nowhere. He done came over here. I said, what he finna get ready to do? So he was talking to Martin. He ends up asking Martin how Nicole's doing. I said, red flag number 2003. Then he's like, I just want you to know. I think, did he shake his hand? I don't know. Either way it go, he want Nicole. Long story short. But yeah, first he asked Martin how Nicole doing. He ends up saying, I really let Ted have it or whatever. Nicole, 1 in a million. And Andre was listening. I said, I said, go tell your uncle everything you just heard. I said, go tell him, sir. I said, go tell him that. I said, yeah, I knew it. Then, I think it was Nicole and Danny, if I'm not mistaken. They were standing up there talking about Leslie and Eva because she seen her. They seen her or whatever, and they was wondering what they was doing there. And they was finna get ready to walk over there. They was talking about having security or somebody to escort them out. But then Carlton swooped in and sat down in between. I think, who was right there? I know he sat beside Leslie, but it was somebody else. Was he sitting beside Eva too or somebody else? Either way it go, he over here know what he doing. He know what he doing. I said, I called it. I've been saying it. I said, Carlton wants your wife, sir. Your friend wants your wife, sir. He doing too much. These people too comfortable talking to these folks' wives and husbands like that. What the world going on? I said, But yeah, what else? Let's see. Kat ends up seeing that he was there. They run into each other. She tells her that Tomasi is here. Her man not here or whatever. She ends up calling her pathetic. They started to almost go back and forth, but that's when Eva notices that her mama there. And Kat wanted to know why. And she went over there trying to talk to her. She was like, she's not there to stir up any trouble or anything like that. Um, Danny and Nicole end up seeing her. Vernon sees her and he warns her, and she was like, she's just there for the concert. Look like they're trying to go to the after party. I don't know if it's after party. I'm just saying, y'all. But yeah, then Danny, she went and got Andre. I said, did she move Andre beside her? I said, did she do that because of Leslie, or did she do that because she want him beside her? I said, you fell too late, girl. I said, it's too little too late. He moving on. Derek and Ashley, they went to them, and I was like, I don't understand. Like, we don't want to see this right now. I want to see the concert. Y'all been doing all this hoopla over this concert for what? Since the beginning? Well, basically the beginning of the show. Hold on. And I said, go back. I said, don't let them sit up there and do all that humming stuff. They be I don't think it's called humming, but I'm going to just say humming. Like what they did when, who was it? Sharon and Tracy the other day. I thought they was really fun to perform. Well, yeah. I like the day outfits, though. But yeah, what else happened? Let me see. I already said Vernon wants Leslie. Carson ends up sitting beside Leslie over here trying to score points, brownie points with this lady. Derek and Ashley say they miss each other or whatever. So he admits he was using his friendship with Shanice to rub it in her face, and he wanted her to admit the same. I said, she actually want Andre, sir. You called it. You was right. She just in denial. You was right. She wants Andre. She been wanting Andre. She over here lying. Over here lying to herself as well as you. Done got mad. He over here talking about he want them back. He want her back. He want another chance. He got offended. She was like, you the one who sit up here and broke up with me and all this other stuff, and she got mad. And she was like, no, there's no going back or whatever. Basically, you made the choice that you made. I said, I really dislike when people over here how do I say this? Playing in your face. I just said it. She playing in his face. So she been playing in his face. She knew she wanted Andre. But yeah, she says it's too late for them. And he was like, is this because of Andre? Has things progressed between you and Andre? She's like, no, nothing like that. Nothing's happened between us or whatever. Not yet. But yeah, he was like, Andre's a player. She got offended by that too. I mean, he's not wrong. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that he's a player, but at the same time, like, I don't know. But he's supposed to be telling her on next week's episode that, he done made his choice. He want her. I said, Danny, you lost a girl. I know you don't want him either. And at least she was honest about it. At least she was honest. He was not. And that's what make him bad right there. The fact that he wasn't honest. But yeah, Anita ends up performing a solo. And after that, she, how do you say it? She called Andre. He came up there or whatever. And she was saying something. She was just giving her thanks and saying how all this happened because of Vernon and just thanking her sisters and stuff like that. And I was like, what's she finna get ready to do? I'm assuming she finna do a tribute to Barbara, but I could be wrong. But yeah, that's it. And at the end of the episode, what did they show? I think they showed Leslie and Eva at the little country club or whatever. And I think Kat saying either they leave or she gonna leave. She gonna move them. She gonna have them escorted out. I don't know. She said something. She said either they leave by themselves or she gonna help them leave. I said, I don't think you're gonna be able to handle that crazy lady. Now, Eva, I don't think you're gonna be able to handle her either. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't know. I said, you might want to tread lightly with the crazy lady. I don't know. I said, I don't think you're gonna be able to make too many more threats to this girl. Excuse me, to this crazy lady. What else? I already said how Haley gonna be bleeding or whatever, and she gonna be yelling at Danny to leave her alone. I said, Danny, she finna have you locked up. She finna have Bill mad at you. She finna make it seem like you don't sit up here and cause her to lose this baby. What else? Ashley and Andre kissing, and I don't know if they're gonna sleep together or not, but they kissing. Was it something else? Oh, Ted's so-called friend asking Nicole out on the date, and Ted's supposed to walk up to them. Was that it? I don't know if that's it or not, y'all. But yeah, either way go, that's it. That's all. Let me know your thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, do have a great rest of the day and be safe. And a great weekend.